Progesterone deficiency. How I saved my baby. Please share this with all the women you know. It could save a life.
I try to do the best I
My name
can.
is Nikki Schumacher. I am practically imperfect in every single way. I seek to help you love your families practically and imperfectly. So I'm just gonna tell my story, share from the heart. I have not made notes. I will try to link some helpful articles below on progesterone deficiency. First of all, I have been pregnant 3 times. My second baby ended up in miscarriage early on. As any of you can imagine who have or hadn't suffered a miscarriage, it's quite tragic. It's a horrifying experience, and I just had a lack of knowledge, to be quite honest. You can believe me, you can not believe me, but I've always been one to do tons of research, not just like gossip sites, but actually look for scientific research, as well as listen to the testimony of other women. That is research as well. Poll research, I guess you could say. I mean, that is a very scientific study that should not be discounted. After suffering my miscarriage, obviously I didn't want to have another one. I got pregnant again, a couple months later. We decided to give my body a couple months to heal. Got pregnant right away, and I'm very thankful. I have an easy time getting pregnant, but what I found through my research is that a lot of women my age, starting in their 30s, have a progesterone deficiency. I'm not sure why the medical community in the United States doesn't promote this information. I have some opinions. When I was pregnant with my 3rd baby, I started showing signs early on, the same signs that I had during my miscarriage with my 2nd baby, who we named Angel Phoenix. So I will call him Angel Phoenix from here on out. So I started showing those signs again, and I started reading like crazy. And what I found in many other countries in Europe, it's pretty normal for women to go on progesterone if they have a pregnancy in their 30s, or to at least have their progesterone levels checked, to have their blood work done, and that low progesterone is one of the #1 causes for miscarriage in women who are older conceiving. I read some scientific research, and I also read some testimonies. This has been a long time, so I will try to find some helpful articles to link below. Like I said, I don't know if I'll find the ones that convinced me, but I was desperate. I wanted to try anything. I didn't have time to get blood work done. I had my husband run out and purchase progesterone cream, and I also bought something called lobelia. It's a pretty powerful herb. I bought that at Whole Foods. But definitely within 24 hours the bleeding stopped. So that's what the sign was. It was early bleeding. That was very parallel to one of the testimonies, at least one of the testimonies I had read online, that by this husband. Actually, he was European, I can't remember which country, but they called their doctor desperate, said they would try anything, and their doctor just sent them to the store. They didn't have time for blood tests or anything like that, but their doctor said if anything would work, this would. No guarantees, but he sent him to the store, and he got progesterone, I believe, in a pill form, and I believe to get it in pill form you have to have a prescription. And so he ran out, filled the prescription, ran home. She took it, and within less than 24 hours the bleeding stopped, and same thing happened to me. Now, I stopped taking it and the bleeding returned immediately, and I thought, oh my gosh. So I started taking it again. I took it in a cream form, and I did not stop taking it until I was like 20 weeks pregnant or something. This was very parallel with the testimony I read online. Same story. She stopped taking it and the bleeding returned. She took it again, the bleeding stopped. So it was very obvious that for her and for many people that progesterone does help to stop a miscarriage. In many cases, in fact, many studies show that it's like the #1 cause of infertility in women in their 30s. I just want you to know I'm not a doctor, so I cannot tell you what to do. I can't like prescribe anything. You need to talk to your doctor, and I suggest that you do your own research, talk to many doctors. Some are good and some are not. You know, some keep abreast of this. I am not sure why in America, you know, in some countries, it's like if you've had a miscarriage, they immediately put you on progesterone for subsequent pregnancies. That's like the first thing they do. And I'm not sure why blood tests early for, you know, for women like myself. Like I'm 37 now, so that means I was 34 when I got pregnant with her. So I'm not sure why they don't check progesterone levels in our country unless you ask. I'm not sure. I don't know how to say this nicely, but there's a culture of death in America. Everybody is saying, you know, I just want 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and I'll be happy. I don't want to have kids till I'm like 35. And so there's so many factors that are hurting our fertility, and not a lot of prioritization of studying that, because a lot of people don't want to have kids. There's a culture of like push that off for as long as possible and not really seeing that children are a blessing. So there's not a lot of research going into trying to protect our fertility, but more actually trying to ruin our fertility. So there's a lot of other reasons that you could have infertility, but progesterone levels is huge, and it's so easily fixable. And if you have more time, like say you find out your progesterone levels are low even when you're not pregnant, there are more natural ways to raise your progesterone levels. You could take chaste tree extract, otherwise known as Vitex, and that is known to help naturally raise your progesterone levels. But in the situation I was in, I had no time to build it up over time. I needed to save my baby immediately. It worked. So that is just my testimony. Obviously I have no proof, but there is a lot of scientific evidence, not only in America, but more in a lot of European nations. And I don't remember all the ins and outs. I'm not a scientist, but I just know from one mother to another. I wish someone would have told this to me before I ever got pregnant with my first, so that as I was entering my 30s, I could have armed myself with this information. I believe that whatever happens, happens for a reason. I'm so thankful for my baby, the 2-year-old that I have today. And I know that had I not had my miscarriage, I wouldn't have her. So I'm really, really thankful. But at the same time, I would never want another mother or someone who wants to be a mother to be prevented from achieving that just because she doesn't know about progesterone levels. It's an easy fix. I hope that helps someone. Please share this with like every woman you know, because so many miscarriages are preventable, and I've actually never had a doctor give me this information without me asking. So like if I were to get pregnant today, I would run out and get blood work done and get on progesterone, or just get on it. It won't hurt you. It's better if you can raise your progesterone levels naturally with bioidentical hormone treatment or something. I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but in an emergency like I was in, the progesterone saved my baby. Please share this with everyone, because you know, you could save a life just sharing a video. I love you. I hope this helps. Hit subscribe, hit the little notification bell so that you know when I upload in the future. You're good, you're precious. Grace and peace.